God has done you, Cam, and me pretty good. It's our year, pal.
My sister loves you. Will you tell her to stop doing heroin?
What's not in store for season 2?
Family, take it in. These are the good days that we dreamt about.
Cam's picked up that man of the house kind of attitude a little bit. He's a little bossier.
I got 2 words for you. Contractual obligation.
I got 3 words for you, grown-ass man.
One of our characters kind of gets in a bit of a legal issue.
Unbelievable. You make it out of the hood and now somebody's going to jail?
The stories are very real.
One of these days, I'll get the courage to just chop it all off.
Sounds courageous. Looks stupid. The Calloways get into a bunch of shenanigans. You're definitely going to be entertained.
You was asking what Blair do? The answer is your mother.
You have a group of people going from nothing to having everything and the triumphs and the trials that surrounds it.
That was really funny. I was back there waiting for another entrance. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hi, everybody.
Oh. Doesn't she look beautiful? What is this, peach, coral? What is it?
I think it's coral. I think it's coral,
I
and I can't remember the name of it, but what are the 2 girl names, the 2 girls?
Oh, Allison, Olivia, or
I
Olivia?
think it's that.
Okay, cool.
It may be. I'm not sure.
We'll
I
fact
used
check
to
it
be a
later.
label whore. I'm not a label whore anymore.
Well, you look beautiful.
Thank you, and so do you. I love the blue on you.
Thank you.
Sorry,
thank you.
woman moment.
Yes. So, August 22nd, Survivor's Remorse returns. I can't wait. I binged it again this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So, tell us about what it means to be working, to be the matriarch of the Calloway family.
Well, it feels amazing to be another matriarch. Again, I got a lot of practice doing Everybody Hates Chris. That was the first time I ever played a mother. Yeah. So I got a lot of practice doing that show. So coming on an amazing show like Survivor's Remorse, that gives me a lot more room to, be a little more edgy and a little more honest and not, so set up so much. But to play Cassie Calloway is really invigorating because it allows me to do things that I don't normally do but really want to do in life. And we have an amazing cast of people. I mean, Mike O'Malley, who writes and produces and directs the show, he is a really, really cool guy. He has a great sensibility. So I come to work every day just to, to bring the black and white pages to life. We got Erica Ash, Rico Lee, Jesse T. Usher, Tiana Paris, and of course the crazy ass Mike Epps. Can I say ass? Okay. Yeah, you got to put an ass in front of his name when you say it. But no, it's just it's a really cool show. I didn't know what we had until it started. It's just really cool.
Now, I know LeBron James is one of the executive producers. Is it loosely based on his life or no?
Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
LeBron James, it's actually Maverick Carter, and Maverick and LeBron are attached at the hip, and they just came up with the idea, and I would say it's loosely based upon their relationship. Because if you notice, the show is based around Reggie's character and Cam's character, and we are just like the cast of people around it. And it's loosely based upon that, and it's the life that surrounds basketball, and not so much the life of basketball, but the life that surrounds it.
Now give me, because I do love your cast, and I'm glad you gave them all shout-outs, because I was going to ask, one of my questions is to give me a one-word description of each one.
Oh, gosh.
So for Jesse, who plays Cam.
Jesse, sweet.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the best, because he's my baby. Sometimes if I had a son, I would want him as a son, honestly, because he's just an overall really nice guy, great sensibility. I just watch people. I love people watching, and I watch how people treat other people, and he's just a really nice guy, and I got permission from his mother to do what I have to do with him, because I whoop ass. I don't play. I play no games, but he's got a really good background. Just been raised, cut from a good cloth.
Okay,
let's say that.
And Rico Lee, who I'm surprised, I really love him on the show. But what's your one word for him?
Rico, I would say solid.
Okay.
Rico is a really cool guy, nice guy, family man, very poised, really laid back. likes to have fun, very hospitable to everybody. He treats everybody the same. He's having a baby. Him and his wife are having their second baby. But he's a really nice guy. I got a chance to work with him before. Actually, he's the only person I've worked with before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but really, real cool. I love Ron Rico.
And Erica Ash, who's a hoot. But
okay, one word for her, nuts. I call her crazy all the time. I say, I think you're a little bipolar. But she is fun. And she's she's serious about the craft and serious about her work and takes her work very seriously, but doesn't take herself too seriously, which is cool. And Erica, she loves what she does. She kind of reminds me of myself.
I can see that.
When I was in my 20s, just very, she's very brash, very open. She's very honest. She's a good person. She's really gonna go far.
And Tiana Paris.
Tiana, that's okay. One word for Tiana: fabulous. Oh my gosh, this girl loves dressing up, and whenever we do, red carpet, I'm like, "What are you wearing?" Because I'll be on the red carpet butt naked with socks on, and she'll come in, a beautiful gown. But she's fun. Tiana and I actually have the same agent, and she's cool. She's quiet. She's a little more quiet, a little more reserved, very private. She's completely private. I tease her all the time. Come on, tell me some juice. Give me some stories. And she's like, no, I'm not going to tell you what I ate for dinner. So she's cool.
And last, Mike Epps.
Mike, oh my God, foolish. And I mean that in a positive light. Mike, what you see is what you get. I mean, Mike, I'm honored to work with him because I've worked with some comedic greats, working with Martin and working with Chris Rock, and now I have a chance to work with Mike Epps. That's a great trifecta right there, I would say. Yeah. And Mike is an awesome guy. He's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. Yeah. He's no nonsense, and what you see is what you get. But the camera loves him. Like when just watching his scenes, just the screen comes to life every time he's on it.
Wow. Now, my favorite scene with you was, or episode, is when your character's trying to buy a house.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And you go to the Southern woman, who is you find as a Calloway as well.
Yeah.
And then when M. Chuck comes in, she tries to play it was not even the race card, it was the slavery card.
Yes, the slavery card. Yeah, that was beyond the race card. That was the slavery card.
But the best line, and I won't say it just because I worked there, was when you guys find out that her great-grandfather was black, and she's like, "See you at the Essence Fest, ladies." But that was my favorite. So what has been your favorite episode or scene to film?
Okay, I would say the church scene where the preacher told, if you're gay, get out, get the F out. Like, I like that scene in that show because it was a shocking moment. It was a little far-fetched, but it was the first time we as a cast got to really ad-lib and just kind of go with it. And Erica went with it. I said, girl, wherever you go, I'll just go with you. And it just ended up to being a funny scene without seeming too over the top when we did it. But watching it, I was like, ooh, we kind of went far there. But it was fun to do. It was just like, it broke the ice, I would say, for a lot of us filming for that season, for the first season.
So what can we expect from season 2? I know from the trailers I've seen, finds your character gets a little love this year.
Oh, I'm so happy. Because I told Mike O'Malley, I said, listen, every character is having sex but my character. Why can't my character have sex? But he ended up hooking me. I don't know if I could say it. Can I say it? Does everybody know about it? I don't know.
Well, there's a scene with your feet and his feet.
And actually, that's not what the person that I end up with. Oh, I almost told the story. Okay. But I do have sex this season, if anybody cares. I have sex. I have to be mindful of these things because I'm older now. I'm no longer a spring chicken, a fabulous spring chicken like I used to be. So I want to do things that are a little more challenging as I get older and further into my career. I want to start doing things that I haven't done before.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I know one thing with like Viola Davis has often said about her role is like she finally wanted to play a sexy black woman, and even Shonda Rhimes has said, "I want all my characters to have sex on screen." Why why is that so important though?
You know, it didn't become. I don't think it becomes important to you until you get older, because I think if it's done in the right way, and when you're on a good show, I mean, Shonda Rhimes is fabulous, and she gives us as black women vehicles and scripts that we can croon to. So you want to do more. You want to be able to experience the Shonda Rhimes experience. So I'm experienced the Mike O'Malley experience. So he has so many things going on in his head, and I'm like, let's go for it. You know, even when we had a meeting in the writer's room, he said, how do you see your character this year? What do you want to do? I'm like, you know what? Go for it. Just whatever you want to do. And then he writes a whole script about my vagina. I'm like, great! I didn't say that far! So yeah, there's a whole, episode 3. Woo, kind of rough.
Well, there's even scenes with you and Erica Ashford. She's going on, and I mean, I know you're an actress and you're poised and you're trained, but it seems like behind the lens, your face is like, what did she just say?
Yeah, she has great lines. You know, that with Erica, they give her really great things to say because her character is so brass, and she's a lesbian on the show, and she's almost like, I always tease her. We have like a whole background thing going on off camera, and what I do is I give Jessie preferential treatment, and I treat her bad. Just for the sake of the on-camera stuff. Okay. So even when we're in group chats, I'm like, you know, Erica, you're not so, you know, I always loved him more. You know, he's always been the good child. So that's kind of how I treat them off camera, because it displays when we're on camera, because you know there's something that I probably, as a mother, neglected with her because I was so focused on him and his career. So I'm always trying to think of these little things that will add to our characters.
Yeah. Speaking of being a mom, I know you've played moms who are outspoken, you know, from Survivor's Remorse, Everybody Hates Chris. So what kind of mother are you in real life?
Oh, gosh. Oh, let me wipe the sweat on my brow. That's another story. Whew. Well, I tell my daughter, I didn't have my daughter until I was 35. I was a single mom for the first 7 years of her life. And it was hard. It wasn't easy. I have a great family unit. But with my daughter, I always tell her, I said, you know, I'm too old to be a mother. You know, I'm too old for kids. So she's like, Mom, you know, I want to do, she's very active. Like, my daughter is a lot like me. She's me times 20 when I was a kid. And even my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, the matriarchs that raised me, they said, oh, my goodness, you weren't even like this. Like, you didn't deserve this. Because my daughter is amazing. She is going to be something that I never even could dream that I could be. And to watch that in front of my eyes every day take place. And I said, look, all I got to do is feed her. I got to clothe her. I got to give her the right things. You know, I got to give her guidance. I have to protect her. So I have all these checklists of things. And she's like, Mom, you're really taking this thing too far. I'm like, shut up. You know, I'm doing the best I can. And I think that's what motherhood is. You know, you just kind of, you don't know what you're going to get. You know, and I got a beautiful child who's smart and talented and gifted and witty and funny and you know, I want to just strangle her sometimes because it's just like she's different, and I know she's always been different. Billy D. Williams told me, I was doing a play with Billy D. Williams, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was about 5 months pregnant, and I had just finished singing, and I got off stage, and he says, my God, you know how amazing your daughter is going to be? And I said, why would you say that? He was like, she gets to hear you sing like this every night. And I never thought about that, but she came out the womb just singing and dancing. She was always moving, always moving. Wow. So God blessed me with another individual that is going to, you know, supersede anything that I could ever even imagine or dream.
Wow. Now,
it's a huge responsibility.
No, it is. To switch gears a little bit, and to talk about something else that's very personal to you. I know lupus has touched your life in a very personal way. Can you share with us how it has, and what is the We Win Foundation?
Yes. Well, my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, she's standing right there back there in the white. My sister she got diagnosed with 6 diseases. The 7th disease that she was diagnosed with was lupus. So, you know, she was so used to having to treat the 6 diseases. She was like, okay, give me a pill, give me whatever, let me keep going. And the doctor's like, no, it's incurable. And you'll eventually will die from it. And so it was a big, you know, realization for my sister. So I told her, I said, look, we all have to do, while we're here on earth, we have to do and play our part. We have to make sure that we do what we need to do. So we started the We Win Foundation. And after I started, because I said, you know, once I get my marching orders, once somebody tells me, okay, Tichina, this is what I need you to do, I do it. And I go full force. With my sister, I just started talking about lupus. And when I tell you, a floodgate of just people and somebody always knows somebody that has lupus or that has died from lupus. So I started getting hits on my Twitter. You know, my mom died, or my sister died, or my mom has had it for 20 years, or my dad just passed. So we have so many different stories. So my sister and I are doing what we can grassroots. We want people to know that they can live, that they don't have to die. We've lost a lot of people because they give up. Lupus is the sun is no longer your friend. You can't be in the sun, you know, and you never die from lupus. You die from the complications of it. You know, her kidneys can shut down at any moment and just take her out of here. That's how. So, and it's affecting a lot of people, and it's very prominent amongst black women. So we have a responsibility to talk about it. So our foundation, what we want to do is just whatever it is that we can do. You know, if we could pay a bill to make your life a little easier that week, or if we can, you know, my sister, she carries around these medicine balls to keep her circulation. She has gloves to keep her from the air conditioning, which I wish they would turn on right now because it's hot in here. Woo, I'm sweating. But yeah, so the We Win Foundation is our foundation. We're helping whoever we can with any autoimmune disease.
Wow. And I know that there's a special support you give caregivers, which I find a lot of people don't talk about caregivers enough. Because I feel like all of us know someone that we either going to care for or someone being cared for.
Yeah, well, the caregivers, I'm a caregiver. You know, I didn't notice that. Like, my sister was like, you're a caregiver. You know, my sister got to the point, she was very successful in her job. She's a paralegal for a huge law firm. She woke up, and this is how she found out that she had it. She woke up tired, fatigued. She's thinking, oh, okay, it's just the lawsuit that they just won. So by the 2nd day, she's like, okay, feel a little better. No, didn't go away. 3rd day, 5th day, 7 days go by. She cannot get out of bed. Oh, wow. Can't move. And this is how a lot of people find out about it. So it's debilitating. It's extreme. You could be high 1 minute and great 1 minute, and the next day it takes you out. So this is what happens. So she's the breadwinner for her home, for her family, and when she stops working, it's a trickle-down effect. I mean, it affects everybody. So we like to pay credence to the caregivers, because the caregivers got to work double time. We have to do extra. We have to make sure. There are times that she can't brush her teeth. There's times that she can't tie her shoes. That was my realization for my sister when I found out when I realized, like, wow, this is really serious. I travel a lot. We're going through the x-ray machine at the airport, and I'm like, come on, Zanae, hurry up, the flight is about to leave. And I look back at her, and she's looking at me, she's like, I can't tie my shoe. Something as simple as tying your shoe. So we are working very hard. We just want people to live. We want people to not give up. And that's usually what happens with people that have lupus. You know, you get tired. Yeah. We lost a woman, 35 years old, 4 kids. You know, sometimes people just give up. And we just want them to hang in there, because we win. You can win.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And to Zanae. So I know in a few minutes we're going to open up to the audience Q&A, but I have to say I know a little something. You have a pretty large fan base in Brazil.
Oh, I love Brazil. I have to learn Portuguese so badly. Oh, I love Brazil. My Brazilian fan club has more followers than me. Yeah. What the hell is up with that? I was like, how many followers does he have? I couldn't believe it.
I know.
So I love Brazil. I visited Brazil. What a wonderful place.
Yeah, I saw a clip of you performing, but I was thinking, I guess I think of you and I'm like, okay, she's gonna sing R&B, but you were rocking out.
I love rock. You know what it is? Because I started off singing at the age of 3, and I sang gospel, in church, and that's a great roots to have. But then I started singing the secular music. My mother, they called it the devil music back then. It was like, you're singing the devil music. So I love the devil music. I love singing it and performing it, and I used to perform on stage all the time. So I just got that bug, and after just performing, I said, you know what? I want my own band. Yeah. So I started a band called No Pressure, and we perform whenever we can, when anybody wants us to perform, and it's been really cool. I love rock. I've always see. I'm a '90s chick, so I would listen to Bon Jovi and Mr. and Phil Collins, right? So I love music. This music makes the world go round. I trained classically at the Music and Art. Went to the High School of Music and Art right over on 135th, and then we moved to 66th Street. And then I ended up graduating someplace else because I had to do Little Shop of Horrors. I did that when I was 15 years old. Thank you. Did you see how I got that in there? Did you see? You caught that, right?
That was one of my questions, but I saw the time was coming.
But yeah, so God has blessed me to do really, really wonderful projects. Yeah. So along my travels and along my work, I just, have been, very open-minded to all kinds and types of music.
Okay, cool. All right.
Hi, we have a question from an online viewer named Arisha. What advice would you give new actors trying to get booked?
Make sure you love it. Make sure you know what you're getting into. It's hard for me because I started off so early. I started at the age of 11. I got my equity card by the time I was 13. I got my SAG card by the time I was 14. So that's all I knew. So I as a kid, you want to eat, you'll eat for a job. And you're like, okay, just feed me, or just throw something my way. But when you're a kid, you don't know anybody. You do it because you love it, and that's all I knew. But for newcomers, you gotta love it. Show business is like your boyfriend. He may not like you every day. He may not give you the same love that you're giving to him. Will you stick in there with it? Will you hang in there? Because it won't always feed you. It won't always pay you. It won't always take care of you. I've had a lot of down times. There's times that I just was way down on my luck, but I loved what I did, and you got to stick in there. So I would say, in order to get more work, when you're not working, hone in on your craft, practice or take lessons, take some classes, and get better at what you do. But ask people. Because now we have the world has changed. We have social media. Get a Periscope account. I'm addicted to Periscope now. Get a Periscope account and start your own. You'll have your own viewership. Do things that will put you in a position to get you more work. Is that a good answer? I mean, is that good enough? And you need an agent. You also need an agent. Got to get an agent. Hey, dude. What's up, man?
I'm Mitch.
Hi, Mitch.
A fan since the Martin days.
Awesome.
Thursday night was Martin and Living Single.
Oh, wow.
So, 2 things. First, when Martin first came out of Shanae, were you guys just hysterical for that first year of that?
Oh, gosh. We had fun. That was the good old days.
And I'm so happy, I didn't know you were as big a singer as you were until Fran Drescher really showcased that.
Oh, my gosh.
When are we going to see you do that again on TV or a movie?
Oh, wow. Well, a movie, I'm hoping, I did in Little Shop of Horrors, but I was 15 when I did that. I try to sing every opportunity that I can, just so, because I enjoy it so much. With Fran Drescher, I did her talk show before I did anything else. And so I sang on her talk show, so when I booked the job, she was like, oh, well, we'll have you sing on the show. We'll have your character sing on the show. All right, we're going to make sure that Tichina sings on the show. So because of Fran Drescher and people like Martin who knew that I could sing and wanted to help me show my talent. So it's really cool when producers and directors really want to help you with that. So I got some news for our 3rd season, God willing, for Survivor's Remorse. Oh, I'm going to be singing in a cafe. So I'm going to be singing 3rd season. Not this season, but 3rd season.
All right. Breaking news, breaking news.
Hi.
Hey, lady.
So I grew up watching you on Everybody's Hates Chris, and it was just a wonderful comedy. So I just wanted to know, in this new comedy, how is it different from Everybody Hates Chris, that type of comedy?
This comedy is, Everybody Hates Chris was written by Ali Leroy and Chris Rock, who are amazing writers, and just their sensibility is just awesome. The difference is, with Everybody Hates Chris, because I worked with kids, and I'm the only female, I would be first in, last out. So I could easily do 16-hour days on Everybody Hates Chris. Survivor's Remorse is a little different because we're all adults, but I loved both. I can't, the distinction between the two are, the kid factor and also the network factor. We started on UPN and then we went to, we started on UPN, then we went to CW. And, cable network, you could kind of do a lot more and be a little more risque on cable network. So in that sense, I like doing Survivor's Remorse. It's just different. It's different in that sense. I got a little more room to breathe. But Everybody Hates Chris was awesome. I mean, Ali Leroy and Chris Rock would just spit lines at me, and you just kind of, they let me, they let me rock, I always say. They let me rock. But there's the difference is just the network and the kids. But otherwise, two amazing shows, two iconic shows, two shows that have allowed me to really show and showcase my ability to act and sing.
Well, I want to piggyback on just that, because when you play a mom, there's some parts that just so spot on. Do you get any of that from your own mom? Has she called you, been like, why are you trying to act like me? Has she ever did that?
Almost definitely. My mother, when I did Everybody Hates Chris is my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, all in one. Because remember, I was still a single mother. My daughter was only 3 at the time when I did Everybody Hates Chris. So I really didn't have experience on really being a mother. So as I'm reading the script, I'm like, oh, wow, my mom did this to me, or oh, my God. So I would just invoke my mom and my grandmother and my aunt. So that's who Rochelle is. It's not really me. Cassie is a little more me. Because I figured motherhood out. I kind of figured it out. Yeah. Hi.
Grew up with Little Shop of Horrors. That was my family's favorite movie. We still watch it at least like once a month, and if we're not all together, we call each other. It's just like our favorite. It's just our thing. And I think it's so interesting that you brought it up a few times. Can you talk about filming that a little more and how that came to be at such a young age?
Little Shop of Horrors. Filming Little Shop of Horrors was a turning point. It was a lifetime, magnificent experience for me. I was 15 years old. They auditioned, when I tell you, women and girls around the world for those 3 roles. They auditioned in Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. And they ended up coming right back here to the United States, and thank God they picked us. Little Shop of Horrors, I think, was more exciting for me because the voice of Miss Piggy was the director. Frank Oz is on top of being a great guy. My sister, we used to make him talk like Miss Piggy every day we went to work. But to be in a trailer with Steve Martin, this is a guy, as a kid, I'm watching him, do all these movies, and I'm like, I really like standing next to Steve Martin. It was a turning point for me. It really showed me that the industry and show business really had regular people. You see them as celebrities and stars, but then you work with them, and then you get to see the people. So it made me get another appreciation for what I do. It made me respect what I do because it was a lot of hard work. That was a lot of hard work, especially that opening scene. When we did Little Shop of Horrors, the song Little Shop of Horrors, the opening scene, as you notice, we don't get rained on, but everybody else does. Everything else gets wet. So they had to build these things that look like this stuff in here, where we had to follow those, and then you have a guy following us with, a rain machine. It was just crazy. But it was such a wonderful experience because I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never experienced anything like that before. And Dan Aykroyd and John Candy and Ellen Green. I mean, I knew Ellen Green from New York, but I actually did the movie before I did the play. I did the play after I did the movie. So to just be with all these amazingly talented people that I've always watched on the big screen, and now I'm working with them on the big screen, was just a turning point for me. And to live in London for a year and fly on the Concorde, you can't beat it.
And you also Tisha Campbell-Martin.
Yeah, Tisha and Michelle Weeks.
Yes.
Did the other role. So we were all young, we were open, and we were ready to go. I mean, we had to be in the studio as well. Doing the soundtrack for that was just great. You know, it was a lot of work, but just a great, great experience.
Last question.
Hi.
Hey,
My name
girl.
is Monica. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
There's this sort of ridiculous trend where the media has discovered that women can be funny, and
I like the part with ridiculous trend. I like
as you
that.
move forward with your work, do you find you have to censor your material when you're speaking, or where it's a lot more open for men to say what's on their minds, especially male comedians, but as a female, do you find yourself you have to censor your work?
You know what? I've had moments where I felt like I had to censor my work, but I'm not one for censoring myself. I'm just not good at it. I really tried. I think I try to be as politically correct as possible, but I'm really a no-nonsense kind of girl. I really wear my heart on the sleeve. Thank you. Which I think we all should be. I think if you're honest with yourself, the easier it is to be honest with other people. And when you are honest with yourself, it's easier for other people to stomach you being honest with them. So I don't think comedy should ever be censored. I don't think you should ever censor yourself if you believe in what it is that you're doing. We're going to be criticized all the time. You know, I'm fighting for women to get paid just as much as men. You know,
Amen.
I want us to be on that level. Because I told all the actors on Survivor's Remorse, I said, look, the only power that an actor or an actress has is when those cameras start rolling. That's when it's all you. That's when you have control. That's when you take control. What are you going to do with it? I don't censor myself, no. I want to be respectful to people. I'm not a stand-up comedian. A lot of people think I do stand-up. I don't. I just act up. But I think life should be fun. I always say God has blessed me to wake up every day doing what I love doing. Imagine there are millions of people imagine waking up every day hating what you do. I don't want to see how that feels. So I want to do what I can for my career and to teach somebody else things that I've learned to help them avoid mistakes that I've made. If I can help somebody else, by all means, let's do it. We're all in this together, boo-boo. Call my boo-boo. Boo-boo.
Well, thank you all for being here. This has been great.
Thank you. Is anybody as hot as I am?
It's a little
And this
warm.
is my shameless plug. Make sure y'all follow me on all my social media. Thank you, AOL. Yes, give it up for AOL.
And what's the date for Survivor's Remorse?
Yes, the hashtag Survivor's Remorse. Okay, we come on August 22nd, 9:30 on the Stars Network. And make sure you follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff. Periscope, I'm addicted to Periscopes. And I own my name, so it's TICHINAARNOLD. Mwah. Thank you for having me. Give it up. Give it up.
Give it up. Give it up.
Give it up for my girl, Corey.